What's up, guys? Welcome back to Art by Flan. Today we're doing something relatively simple, just a little simple piece. I did a batch of drawings and a batch of recordings all in one go, and towards the end here I kind of got burnt out and just wanted to do something simple. So I just did a bust of my character and one of my favorite characters, Maia. Maia is... I wouldn't call her a tragic character because she does get a happy ending. She just has a really rough in-between. I was like, because her start was pretty good, her in-between is just sort of not great. She is a princess, later queen, and she is the first child of her mother. She's her mother's first child, and her mother is sort of new to being queen. And what I mean is, she was not supposed to be queen of her kingdom, but she ended up as queen of her kingdom. And so Maia, and she ends up being a very good queen, mind you, and so Maia has a lot to live up to in that sense. And she was groomed, obviously, from youth to be her mother's predecessor, and she doesn't resent that in any way. She is happy to be queen. She's happy to take the throne. She never runs away from the responsibility per se, but she does envy the freedom other people had growing up, and just the freedom in general that other people had. And this sort of attitude leads her to fall in love with someone she absolutely should not. And so it creates a lot of drama for her family when she and her lover are discovered, and she ends up, losing him. But through losing him, in a sort of roundabout way, she finds herself and a man who she can be with, who she does love, who, helps her better herself, but isn't really bad for her. So yeah, that's, Maia is one of my favorite characters. She's the character. I have one ball jointed doll, and she is that doll. So I made that doll based around her. There's tons of her in my sketchbook. You've probably seen them in the sketchbook tours. She's just one of my all-time favorite OCs that I've ever created, and she's part of a story that I have with my roommate and best friend. So yeah, I love to draw her a lot, and you'll probably see her a lot in the future. And so get used to this sort of sad face. But yeah, I just wanted to do something simple, so I ended up just drawing a bust of her in a nice tiara and a little sad face, sort of represent her inner turmoil, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted to draw her. And here we are moving into the colors with the shading. I also recently changed up her skin tone. I know if you watched the video I did earlier, the collab with Aqualuna Art, she had a much paler skin tone, but after talking with that, actually brought up a conversation between me and my roommate about how one of her parents, her dad, has a actually darker skin tone, and her mother is very light, so Maia would actually have something more in between, erring on the lighter side, while she has a brother with similar coloring who errs on the darker side of skin tone. So I wanted to keep her kind of pale, but still show a more golden tone to her skin. So that's what I've done here, is I've redone her skin tone. I'm not going to redo the Aqualuna Art collab. It's a good picture. I like it how it is, but from going forward, this will be her skin tone. And that's the nature of having OCs, I guess. They just sort of evolve the more you talk and think about them. But yeah, just working on her hair. And of course, this is another excuse for me to draw hair, because if you've watched any of my videos, you know I love to draw hair. I love long, flowy hair, and Maia's is some of my favorite. So yeah, like I said, this is not a complicated picture. It was just something to sort of unwind. I'm really happy with how her tiara came out in the end. Like, I ended up, it was, as you can see in the sketch, it was really sort of, oh, there's Tool SAI messing up. It was really sort of rough, and I didn't really have an idea for it when I drew it, but by the end here, I'm really happy with how it came out. I redrew some parts in the line art, and I added some texture with my shading and some textures from actual jewels in the crown, and I'm really happy with how it came out. And of course, I really love how her hair came out. Still working on facial shading. I feel like I'm getting a little better, but sometimes you don't get good right away, so just keep practicing. If you're struggling with things like I am with facial shading, just keep on practicing. You're gonna get it soon enough. So just finishing up the shading on her hair here, I think, and moving on to her little shirt. I didn't have any particular dress in mind, just a wrap to sort of bring an end to the image, and here I am working on shading the bulkier parts of the tiara. And I go in here in a minute and pearls, shading the pearls, and you'll see me doing designs on the diamonds they're supposed to be. But I don't end up keeping that. I actually change the texture later on, but you can't really tell because it's so far away. But I really like how it came out, because it really did produce a really nice diamond looking effect. At least I think so. I could be wrong. But yeah, so here you see me trying to draw in the facets. It doesn't work. I go with a different technique later on, but the outcome is still really, really great. And here I am just working on her pupils. I gave up drawing them inside. I ended up doing them in Photoshop, so I move on to the highlights of her hair. Just standard procedure here. Like I said, it's not a complicated picture, just something simple, something nice, something I just enjoyed working on for the sake of art, I guess. But yeah, Maia is definitely my default character. If I don't know what to draw, I usually end up just scribbling and doodling her around. I think we all have that default OC that we go back to, and we just draw whenever we don't have any idea of what to draw. A little shading, little highlights on her lips, and there you can see I've sort of changed the shading on the tiara, and I did that off camera because it was just so time consuming. Here I am changing the colors of the shades in Photoshop to make them sort of blend better, and I think I have the shades turned off. Yeah, see, there they are. I did that as off camera. It took me quite a while because each of those are hand drawn. I didn't use any Photoshop tricks to make them duplicate them. They're all individually shaded, so I don't know, I put a lot of extra effort into her tiara for some reason, but hey, I really like the outcome, and I guess that's all that matters in the end. Just breaking out her pupils here. I thought about doing stars for her highlights, but then I decided I didn't really like how that looked, so I ended up scrapping them for just regular circle highlights. And I ended up putting more detail because her eyes looked kind of flat and kind of colorless, and I didn't really want that. I sort of wanted them big and expressive and shiny, and that's what I did. A little dodge, a little burn. And I tried to draw just like a white highlight to fade out, but as you can see, my hand was not steady, so I just defaulted to the pen tool, which is my bestest friend in the whole universe, that pen tool. And just recoloring some of the highlights, making them stick out on her hair, and then I'll go in and add the shading with the softer shading for that extra layer of depth. Oh, it's just, like I said, just a simple picture that I'm happy how it came out, and you should be able to see a higher res version on my DeviantArt at some point, if not already. And we should be moving into the final piece here. If you like what you see, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.